influenza is a viral disease that spreads through birds, wild birds, backyard chickens, commercial birds, etc. And we've had an outbreak this year, and it's very, very serious. The commercial industry has been hit very, very hard in the Dakotas, Minnesota, Iowa, primarily in turkeys and commercial laying chickens. We have had an outbreak in broiler chickens, and we had a very serious one right here in Nebraska, where nearly 1 million birds had to be depopulated because of this disease. We're real concerned about backyard producers because typically, let me contrast this with commercial producers. The commercial world, the chickens are monitored, or the poultry are monitored very, very closely. They know on a daily basis what the feed intake is, the water intake, what the behaviors of those birds are. However, in backyard flocks, they're not so closely monitored. And they may go out once or twice a day to feed or water the birds. Sometimes they see all the birds, sometimes they don't. But even more so, the birds typically are housed outside and they have access to wild birds and wild waterfowl. And in this season where we have all these migrating waterfowl and birds, and now we have spring upon us and a lot of wet, moist conditions, this is the perfect time for the spread of the virus. Well, unfortunately, one of the typical symptoms are a bird just dies. Unexpectedly, they go out, maybe 3 or 4, whatever, in their flock, and then more will do that. However, there are other things, respiratory signs, coughing, sneezing, snicking. They may have diarrhea, they may be lethargic and depressed. So these are all signs. Now, very important, if you suspect your birds have avian influenza, don't be afraid to call someone. Don't be embarrassed. Don't say, oh, well, I don't think so. Let's be sure. You can call the state veterinarian, Dr. Roger Dudley, and his number is on the Department of Agriculture's website. You can call your local veterinarian, and you can call me. We'll get you help. So what we suggest the backyard flock owners do is to limit the exposure to outside and to those wild birds. So bring them inside if you can. Make sure you wall off or separate the feeders and the waterers so that wild birds don't fly in, get a free meal, and expose those their chickens. Just be very, very careful with your chickens. Don't go having swap meets and taking. Now, Nebraska has put a moratorium on any kind of poultry event until at least May 1st. So we're hoping that if we can get through April and May and get through until the summertime, that this will fade away and it will no longer be a problem.